In this video, I'm going to discuss the 7 most important things to own in retirement. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
When we enter retirement, we're told that we need to save. We need to moderate our spending. We need to be really cautious because the amount of income coming in is fixed, and the world and the expenses in the world are not. All really good advice, of course, but there are things that you need to own to navigate retirement successfully. This video will cover off what those are and why they're important. So let's get into it. But before we do, please make sure you click subscribe and notifications so that you get alerted the next time I post a video. I post about twice a week. Point number 1 is owning a reliable car. A car is not optional for most retirees. You need to be able to get to and from places in retirement, and oftentimes family's not around or they're just busy. A car represents freedom, doing what you want to do when you want to do it. Particularly as you get older, oftentimes freedom feels like something that is not necessarily available like it used to be. Most importantly, a car represents safety. Something as basic as a doctor's appointment or something as urgent as an emergency requires you to get in the car and go sometimes, and if you don't have a car to get in and go, you'll be in trouble. Point number 2 is a home. In fact, you don't need to own a big home, but a safe, clean, comfortable home is important. It represents an element of safety for most retirees. Now, having said that, I have published videos on why rent in retirement versus why own, particularly if you're going to do a lot of traveling. But for the majority of people, what they really want from their home in retirement is an element of safety, a place that's paid off, a place where you don't have to worry about expenses, a place that'll be there in 5, 7, 10, 15 years, in fact, for most people. Point number 3 is an emergency fund. Bad things happen, and they seem to happen more frequently to people in retirement, unfortunately, than they do to people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. So having an emergency fund is of paramount importance. I generally recommend what most financial planners recommend, and that's having 3 to 6 months of expenses set aside in a fund that is easily accessible in case something goes wrong. Point number 4 is insurance, specifically health insurance, good health insurance, so strong Medicare supplements, for example, and life insurance if you need to protect someone in case of your early departure. Also, long-term care insurance provides a lot of comfort to many retirees, knowing that they'll have the funds in case they have long-term care needs. Point 5 is a good set of luggage. Let's face it, one of the things you have a lot of in retirement is time, and what better way to fill your time than travel? In fact, it's the number 1 activity for retirees by a country mile. But having a mediocre set of luggage creates problems. Sometimes they fall apart. Sometimes they just are expensive because you have to buy twice instead of buying nice. Owning a good set of luggage will allow you to take advantage of the environment you're in, at the same time keep everything where it needs to be as you're going from place to place. Point 6 is access to a health club or at least exercise equipment. As you get older, your body changes, and fighting the future is of paramount importance for folks. Otherwise, life expectancy shorten up and you don't look as good in your clothes. So joining a health club is a great idea. Just make sure you use it. And last point, really important, missed by a lot of people, is a course catalog at your local college. Staying engaged mentally is really important. Staying current is really important. Colleges offer classes for seniors, everything from the New York Times or Wall Street Journal class to understand and properly use those 2 publications to something a little bit more esoteric, like how to garden or how to program a computer, if that's of interest to you. All of it is available to you. Most of it is super low cost unless you happen to be near Harvard or a college like that. Maybe find a community college instead of choosing a more expensive college if that is the case. The final point worth making is that none of this needs to be expensive. You don't need to buy a Ferrari. You don't need to own a mansion. Your safety fund doesn't need to be 2 years of money. Your insurance can be great insurance, but you don't have to have the best brand out there. You just have to have great protection. Your luggage doesn't need to be Toomey, good brand, but it doesn't need to be Toomey. And your health club doesn't need to be the best health club in the area, just a place to work out and spend time keeping yourself in shape. And of course, as I mentioned before, you don't need to go to Harvard, you just need to go somewhere. If you like this video, please make sure you click subscribe and notifications so that you get alerted the next time I post a video. Retirement information is changing fast, and I work very hard to get what's out there in here for you. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.